Hello friends, it's great to see you. Today is January the 17th and I am excited to be with you today and talk about just a tender moment that God had with Jacob. Jacob has an intimate relationship with God. He's wrestled with God. He's disappointed God. He's pleased God. And in this moment here, he's concerned about going to Egypt. And yesterday we talked about fear. And I love how God weaves our lessons together because I don't plan them out. I just sit down and God, show me today what I'm going to say. And then the next day, show me today what I'm going to say. So when I look down at this, our key verse today, I just smiled at God. And I said, thank you for weaving this together. Because yesterday we talked about fear and how we don't have to live in fear. And today God addresses Jacob's fears. I don't know if Jacob ever voiced to God, I've been afraid, I am afraid. But God says this. He says, I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid to go down to Egypt, for there I will make your family into a great nation. He addressed his fear so that he could enjoy the moment and that he could have peace and he could move forward and not be paralyzed. And I love that. He says, I'm your God. I'm your God. I've got this. He says, I'm going to make you into a great nation. You don't have to worry. I'm going to make you into a great nation. And then he says, you're going to die in Egypt, but Joseph will be with you. The very thing that he had been deceived by all of these years, he's assured of, you're going to be with your son again. And I love that about God. But what God didn't tell him was, and hey, the lineage that comes behind you is going to have some trouble. They're going to be enslaved, and they're going to endure great suffering. But I'm going to keep my eye on them, and I'm going to get them out. But they're going to have generations of suffering. He didn't tell him that. He told him what he needed to know in the moment. And that's what I'm learning to trust God with. Is God, tell me what I need to know on a need-to-know basis and help me trust you with the rest. Because here's what I have learned. Here's what I've learned. If I know it all, if God were to send it to me in an email, if he were to write it down and mail it to me or put it in the sky or send a messenger to me or send me a quick text message, I would miss getting to know Jesus intimately during the days of suffering, because it's through suffering that I get to know Jesus intimately and see that he is the great comforter. If I know it all and know what's going to happen, I'll miss the opportunity of witnessing his power because I would have tried to prepare for everything in my own strength. And I'm very guilty of that. Thinking I see things very clearly and I'm going to help God out. But I don't want to miss the miracle. And I don't want to miss the power. Because that next thing, we miss the miracle. We don't see it. When we know everything that's going to happen, when it's going to happen, if we did, we don't, but if we did, we'd miss the miracle because it wouldn't be a miracle. We would miss knowing him intimately. We would miss witnessing his power at work. We would miss the miracle. And here's the thing too. We would miss the victory. The surprising adventures that we would have with the immeasurably more God, we would miss that. Because we would know. It would be old hat. We would be expecting it. We would be preparing the way for ourselves. And all along, we would miss knowing God and knowing Jesus and knowing the Savior, the Spirit. One of my favorite words in the Bible is yada. It's the Hebrew word for know, K-N-O-W. And it suggests that we yada, or we know God experientially. We can know Him intimately, experientially, in our encounters with Him. That's when we get to see His power. We get to feel and sense His love and compassion, His grace and His mercy. We get to feel the victory in our spirit when Satan is defeated, or when we finally break through and achieve that goal that we know that God set for us. And we accomplish that, and we can give Him all the glory. No, I don't want to miss any of the surprises in my adventure with God. I don't want to know. I don't want to know any more than He wants to tell me. Even though a need-to-know basis is a hard way to live, it's a faith way to live. God, I trust You. Tell me what I need to know when I need to know it, and prepare me along the way for what's coming. And be with me. He says, I'll never leave you or forsake you. And I trust Him, and I hope you do too. And I hope you enjoy those surprising moments with the God of immeasurably more. Because that's what He wants to be in our lives. He wants to surprise us. He wants to take us on adventures and journeys and places and experiences that only we can experience with Him by faith walking. Jacob was a great faith walker. He started off a little bumpy, right? But he finished well. We'll see you tomorrow on Read Through the Word.